If you did not get that email, please, right after this meeting or right now, if you could send me an email that says, hey, can you send me the quarterly report email? It has 4 attachments in there, and so I wanted to really go through those with you so that you guys are submitting the reports correctly. And then if we do this one report, you know, correctly and together, you should actually be able to use that one report and change the dates and change some of your outcomes and use it throughout your grant. So my job is not, you know, for this to be some huge cumbersome thing. I really want it to be, you know, I mean, it's a report. And so I just want to make sure that I'm being respectful of your time and that I'm actually able to see them and approve them. You will get them. And if you are wondering about when they're due, in your grant agreement, so whoever in your organization signed on for your project, the dates are listed on the grant agreement in the back. So your first one is due January 30th. Your next one most likely will be due 3 months after that, so in April. But like I said, look at that last page and it'll tell you the exact date. So the first one I wanted to go through, everybody can see my screen? Well,
yes.
Perfect. So we're going to talk about the quarterly report, and if anybody has any questions, stop me. I'm not going to go through the chat because I'll be reading, or maybe I can. Oh, perfect. Okay, awesome. I'll put it over here. Okay, awesome. All right, so let's go through. So there are different types of names. So there's one report called the PPR, which is your performance report. There's also something called the PFR, which is your financial report, your trial balance, and then cover pages that go for each of those reports. If you are the grant manager, most likely you're going to need to work with your accountant or whoever in your financial team to get the financial reports done, but we have to have all 4 of these documents in one email. Okay, so when you're submitting them to me, just make sure, if you're the last person, just make sure that all 4 are in one email and sent to me. Okay. Like I said, even though it's due on the 30th, you can submit them anytime prior to. You just cannot submit them after the 30th. We have to be very mindful of me approving them and putting them in the system. Also, if I upload them late to the system will actually lock me out. And then you'll get an email that says, hey, if you don't upload them, it's a computer generated email, but pretty much if you don't upload something, they can actually close your cash account. Once your cash account is closed, I can't do anything about that. You guys can't do anything about that. We have to go to accounting. So I never want that to happen. So I'm always encouraging people to submit those reports early, especially the first one, because most likely there's some kind of mistakes or anything that we need to fix, okay? So just remember 4 reports when you're submitting them. And we'll post this PowerPoint after. So the main thing is saving your documents correctly. Like I said, there was 4 different reports that you'll save, or 4 different things, like I said, 4 different types. The first one is called the PPR. So the way you save it is your grant number, whatever that number is. So for you guys, it's 16 dash whatever, or not 16, 17 dash. We're in a new year. So 17 dash whatever the other numbers of your grant report is, and then what the document is. So if it's the PPR report, or the PFR report, you put that in there, and then you put the date that the information is due. So for everybody, this first one is going to say 01/30/19. Does anybody have any questions about that? So again, it's grant number, whatever the document is, and the date. But it's the date that it's due, not the date you're completing it. Okay? And you'll do that for what is called your trial balance. And that, like I said, is coming from your accountant team or your finance team, but it's going to be the same thing: grant number, trial balance, and then the date. The PFR report, grant number, PFR, and then the date. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about that? Because that's the main thing that people get tripped up on, is the dates and how to save the document.
Tara, sorry.
Yeah.
The date, it should be January, did you tell January 1st, 30th, or?
January 30/19 for the first one.
January, okay.
So 01/30/19.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody got that?
Yes.
All right. So this is actually how the PPR form looks. Most likely your grant manager is going to fill out this information. So you would put box 1, your name, your grant number, which you all have. If you don't, let me know and I can get it for you. Your DUNS number, your CSFA number, your FEEN number. The program name is going to be 2019 Youth Career Pathway Grants. That's the type of grant you got. Your CFDA number. Your the state agency is DCEO, Department of Commerce, and the agreement period. So this is your grant period. When did your grant start? All of these grants start 10/1/2018, and they go until let me look. They go until March 2020. I'm trying to see the last date in March. So 3/31/2020. Okay. For Metropolitan, I know yours is different. Yours is 12/1 or 12/2. You're the only agency that has a different start date, so please make sure you note that on your information, okay?
Thank you.
Anybody else had a question?
The quarterly report, though, we would still put March of 2020, or we would put October to December?
No. So the agreement period. So question number 9, the start date of your grant is 10/1/2018. The end date of your grant is 3/31/2020. So my thing is, if you guys filled this out correctly, this information won't change, right? Because your grant number is always going to be the same. Your agreement period is always going to be the same. So I always tell people, if you save this one and save it correctly, you could use at least 1 through 9 should be the same information every time, right?
Right. And the only thing I understand.
The report period number 10
to 3/31/2020 each quarter, each time I report.
Exactly, because your agreement period doesn't change. The only thing that's changing on here is the next questions we're about to go over, okay?
Got it.
So number 10, the report period end date. That's the date we're talking about of 1/30/2019, okay? Question number 11, is this your final report? The question is no. Most likely that'll say no until 2020, which then it'll be our final report. Excuse me. And then the report number 12, report frequency, we're doing these as quarterly reports, okay? And then the date you prepare.
The report period end date would be January or December?
No, it would be sorry.
It should be December, yeah.
Yes.
It'll be the end of the quarter that you're reporting on.
Yes, you're right. It will be the end of the, yes. And this period goes from 10/1/2018 to 12/31/2018.
I understand.
But the end date of that one is going to be just 12/31/2018. Okay. And then whatever date you prepared it on. If you prepared it today, it's 1/23. If you put the same date that you're submitting it, which is 1/30, that's fine. But is everybody okay with 1 through 13? We're good on that for the PPR report?
Just a quick question. This is Sue with OEI. So it's not going to be 1/30/19. It's going to change to 12/31.
The report period end date is 12/31/2018 because so the first quarter is 10/1 to 12/31. Yes.
Tara, I just had a question. This is Sandy from Metropolitan Family Services. Is this just all state money, or is there any federal pass-through on this?
This is all state fund.
State fund. Okay, thank you.
Oh, no, this is federal. This is all WIOA money.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Oh, it's federal. Okay.
Yeah, this is all the discretionary WIOA funds. So it's federal.
Okay, WIOA funds. Okay. You don't know you wouldn't happen to know that CFDA number by any chance, would you?
We can send that out to you. You need the CSFA number.
I'm sorry?
You said you needed number 4 and number 7?
I need the CFDA because we have, I report all the federal pass-through dollars that we get from.
Okay, and that should be in your grant agreement.
I was going to say, yeah. And let me see what page it's on. I have your grant agreement right now. What agency? Metro?
Metropolitan.
Or actually, I can pick anyone, actually. But any information that you need, everyone, please pull out your grant agreement. Like I said, it'll have your reporting dates on there. It has all these numbers we're talking about when we say the CFDA number, all those lovely numbers are in your grant agreement. And I think, Tammy, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's on page 3. It's pretty, thought it was pretty close to the front.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look here too and see if I can find one. Yeah, you can go. I can look here real quick if you want to go ahead with.
Okay. So we'll get those numbers for you. Like I said, all those numbers are definitely in your grant agreement, so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. So questions 14 through 22, there is a small box right underneath where the red part is. It says alternative file or database used. You're going to check that box. That box will always be checked on every report that you send in. That just lets the system know that we're using something else to where you're storing your information, where you're getting your participant numbers. And the 2 systems we use is IWDS and Illinois WorkNet. So even though it says OR on here, both the way we changed it for these grants now, you have access to both systems. So under file name or database source, which is telling us where this information is stored, you're going to put IWDS, /IWN, okay? And
okay, I'm sorry, this is Jennifer. I don't see where you are on the page. Oh, alternative file. Okay, I see the box now.
Yes, so always click that box. Once you click it, like I said, once you click it, you shouldn't touch it again. And just have it there. Just have it clicked, and then IWDS /IWN, which is IWDS system and Illinois WorkNet system.
Oh, okay.
And that's the only thing you have to do on this part. So this part should be great. Anybody have any questions about that one? But
as a follow-up, if you look on your grant agreement under Article 1, the 1.1 has your DUNS number and your FEE numbers, and then 1.3 has the CFDA numbers, and it's actually split between 3 different funding sources. So if you have to document that, you have to have all 3 of those funding sources.
So let me go back to, let me show them where it is so we can. So where Tammy's talking, what page is that, Tammy?
It's on page 2 of the one that I'm looking at. It's under Article 1, 1.3, identification numbers.
So everybody, first thing I would do is pull your grant agreement and have it with you when you're filling out this report, just so you know those numbers are there. And what Tammy is talking about is question number 4. Well, actually, you said the DUNS is in there too, right?
Yeah, you know,
So
you guys probably know your DUNS. We see that from you, see your DUNS numbers, but the CSFA and the CFDA is all included. And your FEE numbers in there too. That's information that's provided from you guys to us, but that's all in your grant agreement.
So question
under
number
Article
4.
1.
Yeah, question number 4 and question number 7 is going to be found on page 2 of your grant agreement. If it's a different page, just look for Article 1 or Article 1.3 to get that information. Okay?
Okay, just one question in terms of doing these online. Are there links available?
I sent out, so if you don't have the quarterly report email that I sent to you, please.
I do have it.
So if you
I do have it, and I printed the forms.
It's a PDF, so you can type in it.
Oh, got it. So just download those and type in them.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Like I said, once you put this information in, I highly encourage everyone, honestly, to use the same form.
Yep.
You don't want to keep putting in the same numbers over and over again, but just be mindful to change the report period end date and the prepared date.
Got it.
Okay?
Thank you.
I just want to, so we're going slow. I'm sorry, everybody, but I just want to make sure everyone's clear and that, especially for the first one, that we really take time to go over these forms, okay? So everyone's clear. Can you guys see my mouse moving around?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So number 4 and number 7 can be found on page 2. All right. And then, like I said, for this one, the only thing you're making sure, click that button one time for alternative file, and then you're going to put IWDS right here /IWN for Illinois WorkNet as well, and that's it for that page. We're done.
Okay.
The next page, number 22, says if your performance accomplishments are on schedule. So you will click yes or no pretty much. If you feel like your project is on schedule right now, you hit the first button. If you feel like your project is not on schedule, then you will hit the second button, but you have to tell us, if it's not on schedule, tell us why. Is that we haven't started recruitment yet? Is that we are looking to hire new staff? Let us know why. So anytime you hit that it's not on schedule, you have to put in here what's the reason, okay? Everyone clear on 22? Okay. And 23, you would check the first one if your project is consistent with your, again, your expected services, your expenditures. So if you are, you know, consistent with that, if you guys have, you know, you're ready, your recruitment is done, then you'll hit yes and keep going. If not, just let us know why in these. So for 22 and 23, if you hit no, or the second one for not consistent or not on schedule, let us know why, okay? The last one, make sure you're putting in this information, who is the authorized individual for your organization. You have your grant agreement. Whoever signed your grant agreement is the person that's authorized with us to sign for your grant. So whoever that person is, you can type in, this does not need to be signed. You can type in their name, their title, their phone number, and their email address, okay? All right. So that's
And keep in mind that it has to be the authorized signature. So whoever's authorized to sign your documents based upon your grant agreement.
So that's the PPR form. Does anybody have any questions? We will gladly go back through it really quickly. Once you actually do it once, it's really not, I mean, these are the easiest grant forms I've ever filled out, honestly. Like I said, once you fill them out once, the only thing really you should be changing on here is the prepared date and the end date going forward. So once you get this done, and then on the second part of it, question 14 through 22, you're highlighting your box, you're putting Illinois WorkNet and IWDS, which will never change. And then you're putting whether your project is on schedule and putting the information for your person, your authorized authorized individual. That is the PPR form. That form is done. Anybody have any questions about that one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah, this is Paul O'Brien from Skills.
Yes.
I wanted to make sure on this one, as far as the performance metrics on that, and where exactly does that go in terms of, like, I know I've seen the goals in the grant agreement, you know, so many placements. Where exactly are we filling that out on this performance form, and what is the source that we're getting that information, so that we're tying back to the IWIS system?
So in regard to performance, the only two questions we have are 22 and 23.
Okay.
So have you guys started your what have you guys done so far for your grant? And that'll help you answer those two questions.
Yeah, we've, in December, we've placed, how many people did we place in the grant so far? I think it was more than 10, let's say. We've placed about 10 people into our career pathways, into our McDonald's program. Okay, more than, yeah. So.
But that's where we fill it out.
But that's where we would fill it out, correct? And then where would we'd be just tying that back to the reports in IWIS?
Well, your reports are already, so if you are putting the students in the IWDS system and in the Illinois WorkNet system, that shows that your project is on schedule because you are actually in your recruitment phase.
Okay.
Okay.
So that, and because we put, and let me go back to this is why this sheet is really easy, because we are already saying on question 14 that there's an alternative database that you can go to verify what you're saying, and you're putting IWDS and Illinois WorkNet right here. Before we had people filling out, so they would have to put 10 people here, due date, and all of that. But now that we have a computer system that has that information, it just makes it easier to put where to find the information.
Oh, okay, got it.
So yeah, that's why I said these forms are really, really easy.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so then we would just refer to that database.
Right. For this first report, since you guys are just getting started, that's going to be it. But we'll have training as we move on, because for the reports down in the future, you're going to have to actually download a report from IWDS and submit it with it.
Okay.
So it'll be a plan versus actual report out of IWDS that'll accompany this, but it's not going to be for the first one because we're just getting started.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Okay. So that's the PPR report. All right. The next one is the PFR report. So this, again, it goes through the same thing of making sure, and your grant agreement is going to be your friend again with the numbers. So the grant number and all of that, your fee number done, program name, the date you prepared this report on. Your agreement period is still the same, and your reporting period is still the same. Remember, the end date is 12/30/2018 for the report end date. And now this is where you, like I said, your accounting department or somebody, but they would know your indirect cost rate. They would know your approved rate. They would know any program restrictions, and we do. So let me go back up here. Is it moving? Okay, there we go.
So agreement period.
So your program restrictions, we're going to have the word, you're going to check yes for that one and list the restrictions. It's going to be, Tammy, correct me if I'm wrong, but it can be found in Article 1.3 of the grant agreement.
Yes, I believe so.
If there's any match or anything, your organization would know. And like I said, all of this is foreign to us because I don't do the financial pieces, but your financial person would know immediately. Like your indirect cost rate, they'll know if it's 10%, whatever the case may be, they will know that. The program income, they would know. Current reporting period, as we said, any interest or anything earned, your organizations would know that. For where it says CGRS, for the first report, for this one you're about to submit, actually list out your cost in here. Going forward, we will be able to put CGRS because you guys will actually have information stored in the system as far as how much cash you've drawn down and things like that. But for the first one, actually list out the category and expenses that you have. If you have not put in, if you have not drawn down any funds for this project, that's fine. But for the first one, if you have, just go ahead and list it here in this box under X.
Tara, this is hi, it's Rachel Wright at AHS. For the program income, every agency seems to define that differently when we use these sheets. Do you know, is that income that we receive for this program separate from the income we would have received from DCEO?
That's a good question. Can you send me an email about that right now, and then I'll put our financial person on there to answer that question?
And it would be, a part of that is, so the money that you receive from us is a grant, so it's not income. It's, okay. But if you would make, so an example would be if you're charging an employer, for services related to this, that would be considered program income.
Oh, cool. All right.
So it's anything, it's not the grant itself, but it's if there's any income related to the grant.
Right.
That's what's considered. But Tara, just go ahead and follow up for sure so we can give them the official.
Anytime you guys send me a financial question, I will be the first one to tell you. I always add our finance person, who is Chuck Dooley, to the email because I want to make sure you guys are getting accurate information, and I don't work in the finance or accounting department. So I will always add him to it just so we can run it past him and his team and make sure everything is okay. So anytime you have those questions, just know I will add Chuck to it. Or if you send Chuck an email, let me and Tammy know. Just kind of add us to it so that we can see. Oh, goodness. Oh, why did I do that? That was stupid.
Your screensaver.
Oh, yes. I love the movie.
It was very cool.
What the heck? Here we go. Okay. All right, so that is that form. Like I said, your financial person would definitely know this information. So if you're the grant manager, it's honestly your job to get with your finance team and say, here's our grant agreement, here's the PFR form, and they will be able to also give you what's called a trial balance, which we'll go over. But I think the grant manager, you guys should be able to do the PPR form without a problem. So I would think about, doing that. And then, like I said, just make sure everything is submitted within one email is a really big thing. And again, whoever is the authorized signature for your representative for your agency, make sure that their name and title is here, the date that they signed it, their email and telephone number, These do not have to be signed. So once you put this information in, you can really use this one, like I said, the same one over and over again as well. And that's the end of the PFR form. So does anyone have any questions about that one?
No.
And similar to the the PPR, project status report, not on this one, but on the next one's coming around, we will have you submit with that a report out of the GRS, the 362, which is the cost summary report. And then I believe the 377, we'll train you guys on this before that next quarter though, but and I believe that it may be the 377, which is the interest.
It's the 370. It's coming up. They'll
Interest
still have to
earned.
take the pictures and send them though, even if it's 0.
Yes, yeah. So
Yeah, I
those
just
are
have
those
a
are supporting documents.
Tara, can you tell me again where those restrictions are? You said Article 1 point something.
1.3. So on there, and hold on, let me.
And it may be in the special conditions. I think we'll double check on
Okay.
that because I was looking at that. Or it's not under that particular article, but I believe it's under the special conditions. So if there's any restrictions on your grant.
And so on this, when you said list out the expenditures, so it looks like it's just, we have to put the approved budget also, or no?
One more time.
Do we have to put the approved budget amount also?
The approved budget amount.
Yeah, where it says current approved budget on the
What
first.
number are you? What letter are you looking at?
Oh,
On
were
the
you
PFR form?
B?
Right there.
Well, look, Y or B? Yeah, where it says C, GRS, and then off to the right.
Yeah. So
the
when you
approved
fill out,
budget.
when you put in, say you put in a category that says personnel.
Mm-hmm.
So you put
We have to list out each one.
Exactly. So when you do this, this line will actually come out more. You'll add more lines.
Oh, okay.
So whatever you have listed in the GRS system, which I'm going to show you, we'll actually have you take a picture, a screenshot of the GRS system. You'll be able to list out personnel, the budget, how much you spend. Another one may be supplies or transportation, something like that. And
Okay.
you'll just add more lines.
Okay, and I'm the one that sent you that form, so I don't have an ID yet. Do you know how long it takes to get that, or?
What organization are you from?
Metropolitan Family Services.
And you don't have an ID for which system?
I thought there was just one for the GRS. I had sent I thought you just needed some kind of ID to get in any system at all. Or no? To do this report, I don't need an ID?
So for GRS, you do need a GRS login. If you do not have one, go ahead and email it. Can you email me right now and say, hey,
yeah, you
I do not have...
I sent you the form yesterday, and you said you were going to submit it. I just don't know how long. Yeah,
okay.
I just don't know how long it takes. Yeah.
Okay. And you guys don't have a login for any other grants that you've had with the state?
For DECO?
Yes.
We had one years ago. I don't.
Okay, but it's not like a current GRS. Okay. I will ask them right now how long that takes to get it.
Okay.
Metro, and you need and what's your name again?
Sandy Velasquez.
Okay.
I don't know if we have one.
I will follow up with that right after this call.
Okay.
Anybody else? Huh?
I don't know if Erie has one, but I'll find out.
Yeah, your financial. I told Melissa to have the financial person on this call, so please check with them, Patricia. If they don't, let us know immediately so we can get that information.
Okay.
But regardless if they don't, a lot of the information that you need is in your grant agreement. So everyone, please pull your grant agreement, make a copy of it. I think it's maybe 15 pages or so that you can at least fill out these reports to get everything going before next week, okay?
Okay.
Quick question, Tara, it's Jennifer. The grant number, is that also called a funding opportunity number?
I can give you a grant number now. What's your agency?
Metropolitan. Because I'm looking at all the numbers.
You ready for it?
Yes.
17-635004.
635004.
And remember, your start date, your grant period is different than everyone else's. Remember, you have a December date. Okay. Anybody else need their grant number?
You can give me Erie's.
17-635003.
Okay.
Anyone else? Going once? All right.
Oh, thank you so much.
No problem. If you guys have any questions when you're filling out these forms, please call Tammy, myself, you know, let us know before the 30th. I cannot encourage you guys before the 30th, please. Please do not wait till the 30th to email us, because then it's the last date. I'm trying to upload everything. It just gets crazy. Anytime before I am available, I will make myself available, okay? All right. So those are the two forms. So that's it, the PPR and the PFR. Like I said, if you're the grant manager and you do not do anything with finance, give your finance person the PFR PDF, and you fill out the PPR for your agency. The PPR has no financial information on it, and you should be able to fill that out very easily, okay? Along with the PFR, there's something that's called a trial balance, and your accounting department should be very familiar with this. Let them know you need a trial balance for your agency for this particular grant. They should be able to prepare one for you. If you talk to them and they say, we don't have that, we don't know what you're talking about, we have one, an example of one. Let me show it to you. This is an example of how a trial balance looks. So it basically says what this grant is, the grant number, the grant period, and then it's actually your expenses.
Oh, like an invoice.
Exactly. That is exactly what
Wow.
it is. And it basically shows your grant total and then how you're spending the funds. Like I said, for some of you, this may be blank. It may be zero. So just send us an email on your letterhead or something like that that says we do not have any expenses during this time, and put the period of 10/1/2018 to 12/31/2018 so that we know you have no expenses and no trial balance, okay?
Tara, for the reports for the PFR, then it would also be zero.
Exactly. So if this sheet right here, if this is zero, let us know, but make sure you put something here. We do not have any expenses currently, NA or anything, let us know. And then also send us, like I said, something that says we do not have any expenditures for right now, okay?
Okay.
All right. There's also, gotcha, Melissa. Also, if for whatever reason, I just like to go over this with people, it may never happen to your organization, which is great. If for whatever reason, what you have in the GRS system is different from what's on your trial balance, you guys would definitely have to do a crosswalk. And I am going to send you guys this PowerPoint right after we get off this call. Your financial person should definitely know what the trial balance crosswalk is. It basically says what we're reporting and what we have in the system is two different amounts, and here's, you know, here's our plan, or here's what we've spent so much on the grant. Like I said, this is early in the grant, so you guys probably won't have this issue, but we just like to say if it's different from what's in the system, then you guys would need to do a crosswalk, and we'll send this PowerPoint to you, okay? We're almost done, everybody. So there's two screens. This is the screen we've been talking about, which is the 362 screen. Every month, and actually I sent this on yesterday. Every grant manager should have received something that was called a budget report from me yesterday. I literally took a screenshot of your GRS system and what we have listed. There was two agencies that didn't, and that's because theirs are not set up. So if you didn't receive one from me, you're one of the agencies that your GRS system is not set up. But this will be a code here. It will say like personnel, fringe benefits, supplies. It'll give your budget and how much you've spent so far and the balance. You will receive one of these from me every month after the 20th, because that's when all costs are, by the 20th of every month, you have to enter your cost for the month prior for your project, for your grant. So you will definitely receive one from me. If you're the grant manager and your financial person is not on the email, please make sure you're forwarding that email to your financial person so they can get that information as well. So we tell everybody to take a screenshot of this screen on your end when you're submitting your grant report. And then also take a picture. Bless you. Or sorry, are you coughing?
Yeah. This is
sorry. And then also your
monthly thing.
Huh?
The grantee reporting says on the screen 362. This is a monthly thing that has to be done?
Yes, and this is something that your accounting department is already doing. So
And this
that's
is the how they get the money for the grant and all that stuff.
exactly.
Okay.
Yes. So this is where they get the money. This is where they tell us what they've done with the funds. This
Okay, I
screen
understand.
tells us a lot. So if you're not the
Okay.
person in the financial department, you probably never seen this screen, but you definitely should get those emails from me monthly that says budget report. And this is where we're getting that from, okay?
Okay, I got it.
So your person, when they're submitting these forms, and I want to pull up my email I sent to you guys. Let me stop sharing really quickly because I don't want you guys. Okay, there we go. And then I want to share. Sorry, I just want to pull up my email, but I don't want you guys to see all the goodness that's in there. Does anybody have any questions so far, though? Because I just want to make sure, like I said, I know it seems like a lot, but honestly, these forms are,
They're pretty easy. I mean,
they are. And like I said, Michael, I cannot stress this enough, but once you fill them out once, you should be able just to tweak them for the next grant period, as far as the dates and things like that.
Could you give the exact program name again? Was it the same for everyone?
Yes, you all
career?
are, everybody has received the 2019 Youth Career Pathway Grant. That's your grant title.
Okay, so we don't have to
So
just
here's,
put youth career pathways.
can you see my screen again?
Yes.
Okay, so everyone should have got this email. I've probably sent this at least 3 or 4 times. But here is the email I sent out. So here's the PFR report, the financial report. Here's the PPR report. And also we're going to go over the cover sheets really quickly too. And once you do those. So again, here's the reports. They're due 1/30. And it's for the grant period of 10/1 to 12/31, okay?
Okay.
So we're going to talk about the cover pages in 1 second. So just a reminder, make sure you have a trial balance attached, and then also the screenshots. And when we talk about the screenshots, we're talking about the GRS system. So these are the 2 screens that your financial person can go to and take a screenshot of that and label it. And it's going to be the same name, your grant number, what the document is, and the reporting period, the end date of it, which is 12/30.
And these screenshots are included in the reporting each month?
It's going to be in your PFR. It's going to be underneath your PFR report. So this is not every month. These are quarterly reports, so you're doing them quarterly.
But we're reporting in GRS monthly.
Every
correct?
month, yes, by the 20th.
Okay.
By the 20th. And if the 20th falls on a weekend, just remind your staff that please do it, then it may be the 19th, because once it's closed after the 20th, we can't get in the system and you guys can't get in the system until the following month.
Right.
So please make sure, it's very important that you're entering your cost monthly for these grants, okay?
Correct. If you have transactions that you don't get in for some reason, what basically happens? So like we're in January right now, it had to be reported by the 20th for December. Now December's closed, but January's open, and then the month of February will open probably in another couple weeks. Okay. So you just have, you won't be able to enter the cost as a December cost. You'll have to enter them as a January cost.
Got it. Thank you.
But I always stress to people, make sure you enter them in monthly, because that's how your trial balance can be different from what's in your GRS system. And then you'll have to do a crosswalk, which you don't want to do.
Right.
And Tara,
well,
one quick thing.
The quarter for sure.
One more time?
If you, for instance, forget to enter December, but you enter everything in January, your quarterly trial balance will be different because you've crossed into the new quarter with your cost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's
Thanks.
Chair, just one
okay.
quick correction on that one, that email. I think it's a 362 screen.
Yes.
Instead of the 361.
Yes, 362 screen. And like I said, you guys definitely got that email from me yesterday. If you did not get it, that means your GRS system is not set up, and so we need to set that up. And send us an email right now so we can go ahead and get that set up with you guys.
Okay, and Tara, this is Jennifer from Metropolitan about the GRS system. So in terms of this report is due, and I want to try to get it out by the end of this week, are we going to be able to, we can still do the report without having access to the system?
That's what, we don't have, like Tammy nor myself, we don't put you in the system. It's actually a different department.
Right.
So we want to make, so send us an email like right now.
Right.
That says, hey,
right. we already did, and you said
Okay.
you already, right. But what I'm saying is, so, but the information for the report can be filled out without that, right?
Yeah, because you don't have any cost if you. I mean,
Right.
you haven't put anything in, so you can still
Yeah.
fill out the form, and all you need to fill out that form is your grant agreement because that has all your numbers.
Correct. That's what I wanted to check, even from the financial part, right?
Yeah. And like
Yeah.
I said, if you have no cost, just put something on letterhead that says Metropolitan Family Services has not incurred any cost from 10/1, or yours is 12, so from 12/1 to 12/31 of 2018.
Right. But
Okay.
Okay.
And the 2 screenshots. So, and here are the cover pages. Again, if you fill this out once, you should be good to go. Grant number, grantee name, done, seen. The report period end date is the 12/30, 2018. The number of pages, if you're attaching the 362 screen, which is here, so it says grantee must attach a copy of the printout of the GRS screen, which is the 362 screen, and the 371 screen. So you would have a total of 3 pages. You'll have the cover sheet plus the 2 sheets. And if you're attaching the trial balance, that'll be another one. So whether your trial balance is 4 sheets, this just helps us know that we've printed out all your appropriate sheets and everything afterwards. And then the date you submitted. It's not the final report, so don't check that box. If you're ever confused and say, hey, I can't remember what we're supposed to attach for the PFR, here's everything you're supposed to attach, okay? So you must have your trial balance, got that. Make sure it's, saved correctly as far as the grant number, what the document is, and the date. Make sure you have all your documentation submitted in a single PDF, which you're going to do. You're going to attach it as the PFR support. You're going to attach a screenshot of 362 and 371. If you have a crosswalk, you'll attach that. And if you have a bridge or anything, which you guys shouldn't, because your GRS or your trial balance is not matching, then you'll attach that. But if you forget the most important thing is here is how to save it. Your grant number, what the document is, and 12/31/18, okay? And then the same thing is for the PPR. It's the same exact thing, name, but it tells you, this is what Tammy was talking about regarding the plan versus actual report in IWDS. Do not worry about that. We are not doing that right now, but you will attach that to this form. But here's how to save it too. This is a PFR support document. Okay?
Except you do want this one to be 12/30, correct? Not 12/31.
Let's see. Is it 12/30? It's 31 days in December, so 12/31.
Oh, so it should be
no, that was
12/30.
December. Hold on. Yep. 12/31/2018.
12/31, not 30. Right?
12/31/18 is the date on the end date of the reporting period.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay. If you're ever confused about anything, I can't stress this enough. Please call Tammy. Please call myself. If you want to start and do your PPR form first, which is the easiest form, and then give your financial people the PFR forms, do that. Just make sure you're submitting one email with all 4 documents. Okay. Again, let me go back to the email. So you should have your PFR form, your PPR form, and then your cover sheet, which has your supporting documentation for your PFR report, and your cover sheet, which is for your PPR cover sheet that has your supporting documentation for that. If you're ever confused, please refer back to this email, give us a call. I'm going to send you this PowerPoint right now. But let us know if you're confused or anything like that. Is everybody at least, no, you're not going to be comfortable with it, but is everybody at least on the same page of what needs to be done by the 30th?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Yes, on the cover page, periodic performance report. So it has all these things. Grantee should submit plan summary report, a benchmark report, and
You're on the PPR form. So like
yes.
I said, we're
Yes.
not doing any of this
We don't
right
have to
now.
do any of this right now. Okay, got it, got it. I wasn't sure if you meant just the first one or none of those. Okay,
None.
got it. Thank you.
No, you're fine. These are the questions we like. We like having these questions. All right. If you have any questions, please, like I said, I can't stress it enough, but let us know prior to the 30th so that we can help you. If you want us to review your documents before you're submitting them, let us know, but send them in one email. It really helps us out to keep everything together, but let us know. And I want to get this PowerPoint sent over to you guys right now, so I will be doing that right now. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, just one last confirmation. It's Paul again from Skills. The naming convention on those files, are you sure it's supposed to be 130 rather than 1231? Because that's
It's
the period that
1230.
we're putting on.
Yes, sorry, yes, and you are absolutely correct.
Okay.
It's 12/31/2018 because that is the end date of the reporting period. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Everybody get that? So our reporting dates are 10/1/2018 to 12/31/2018. We're reporting on that period only, even though they're due in January. And that's honestly how they're all going to be. Your reporting period is always, your reporting period is going to always, your grant reports are always going to be due a month after the reporting period. If you are confused and don't know when the next reports are due, that information is in your grant report, or I'm sorry, your grant agreement. Please print that out.
Tara, I have another question. So if there are no expenses and we do just the letterhead, then we would just submit the letterhead, but we will still have to do the cover sheet and
exactly. That is a great question. You still have to submit a cover sheet for everything. Your cover sheets, and then you put that behind your cover sheet as your documentation that says we have no expenses.
But do we still have to do also the PP? The PPR still has to be done, right?
You have to do the PPR and the PFR, even if you have no expenses.
So we would just put 0 there, also with the letterhead.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sending the email now to you guys. Anybody else have any more questions?
Yeah, actually one more. I'm sorry. On the periodic performance report, did we go over number 14 on the deliverable?
Yeah, we went over that. Number 14, is that with the alternative files?
Alternative file, right, I checked that box.
Yep, and then you're going to put IWDS
right.
IWN, and that stands for the IWDS system that we have and the Illinois WorkNet system that we work in as well.
Yes, and then right below it, it says 14.
And you don't do anything else. There's nothing else you do because these deliverables, we check this information based off of these two systems.
Based off these systems. Ah, wonderful.
So it's the easy. That's why I said this form is so easy. We thank God because it was before we would have. Yeah, it was a lot.
All right.
So, but make sure you click that. Everybody, a lot of people forget it because it's right underneath the wording here. But make sure you hit that button and put a check mark or put the X right there where it says alternative file or database.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. Like I said, we are here. We are available. I'm sending the PowerPoint right now so you guys can have a copy of it as well. If you're ever confused, give us a call.
Thank you.
All right. No problem. Talk to you guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And Erie, Patricia, can you please check with your team and make sure for Melissa and everybody, I just want to make sure they got this information.
We're here. We're on the line.
Awesome. Nope, they're on the call.
Everything out just so I have copies.
Perfect. Actually, they're on the call, so it's great.
Oh, okay, good.
I know. Yep. Okay. Anybody else? Awesome. All right. Go ahead.
There isn't another meeting at 11 o'clock, is there?
You guys have an old grant, so you do have a meeting at 11 o'clock.
Oh, so there is.
So the 11 o'clock is for the old grants. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, I am sending the email right now with the PowerPoint. If you are supposed to send Tammy or I an email regarding GRS, regarding anything with your grant, please do so now so we can get started on that on our end. and I will talk to you guys next week.
I do have a
Thank
quick
you.
question, Tara, before
Oh,
you
go
go.
ahead.
Again, this is Sue with OAI. Am I on the email, or is it just getting sent to Don?
All emails are being sent to Don because he's the grant manager in our system.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I'm good.
All right. Have a great one.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.